So yesterday we talked about Mitch McConnell's corporate hypocrisy, how he loves corporate donations and he loves corporate money, but he's mad at corporations now that they've criticized the Georgia Republican Party for their attacks on voting rights. And Bernie Sanders went on MSNBC to call out Mitch McConnell.
You have been a critic of corporate power for a very long time, and so I have to imagine you feel very excited to have all these new collaborators and comrades who are going to link arms with you to very seriously take on corporate power in America from the Republican side.
It is just extraordinary, Chris. Imagine that after $1 trillion of tax breaks, the large corporations, after lowering the corporate tax rate, after protecting the pharmaceutical industry from charging us by far the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs, et cetera, Mitch McConnell and his friends are very upset that some corporations are now saying that it is an outrage that in Georgia, they are trying to destroy democracy and make it harder for people of color and low-income people to vote. Look, all of this is nothing more than a deflection, and you made that point well, a deflection against the reality that all over this country, what Republicans are doing is trying to protect their interests by making it harder for people who might be voting against them to participate in the political process. That means minorities. That means young people, people who are not sympathetic to their right-wing agenda. And our job is, among other things, to pass H.R. 1, an important piece of legislation which says that in America, if you are 18 years of age, no matter what they do in Georgia or anyplace else, you got the right to vote. Right. That we get rid of. We finally move forward to address Citizens United. And by the way, as you know, Mitch McConnell was the biggest Senate defender of Citizens United and the ability of corporations to buy elections.
And so you can see that Chris Hayes and Bernie, they're having a lot of fun there. They're basically saying, isn't it glorious, wonderful? Isn't it fantastic that Mitch McConnell and the Republicans now agree with Bernie Sanders that it's a problem that big corporations spend so much money and have so much influence in politics? Isn't it great that they understand now that it's bad that big corporations have such a massive footprint in relation to regular working class Americans on the political discussion? But of course, Bernie's being sarcastic, obviously. Bernie is saying that Mitch McConnell is having a one-sided, one-way discussion. He's not mad at corporate money. He's mad that corporate money isn't standing with him on this particular issue of voting rights. That's the question here. That's the problem here for Mitch McConnell. Not corporate money, but the direction of the corporate money in this particular instance. Because don't forget, Mitch McConnell was one of the biggest backers of Citizens United, which basically said that corporate speech is free speech, that spending big money as a corporation or a millionaire or a billionaire in politics is basically unlimited because money equals speech. And then Mitch McConnell is also, even in comparison to other big money right-wing Republicans, one of the biggest beneficiaries of corporate cash in Washington. He gets tons of money from corporate America, more than most. So the fact of the matter is Mitch loves corporate money. He just doesn't like when corporations take any stand against Republicans. And even today he said the following: McConnell in Kentucky calls actions of MLB, Coke, and Delta in opposition of Georgia voting law stupid. My warning to corporate America is to stay out of politics, he says. I'm not talking about political contributions, he adds. So right there, in the middle of one paragraph, one moment, 1 minute, he flips just in an absolutely hypocritical way, where he's like, corporations shouldn't speak about controversial things like the Georgia voting rights bill, but I'm not saying don't give us money. So basically, Mitch McConnell wants the corporate money. He just doesn't want any corporate criticism. But it's even worse than that, because Mitch McConnell loves when corporations are political, taking a stand against unions, and taking a stand against public health care, and taking a stand against the Green New Deal, and taking a stand against higher minimum wages, and taking stands for the military-industrial complex, and fossil fuels, and all these sorts of things. And so Mitch McConnell loves corporate money, just not against him. Remember this. Remember this, because Republicans will say on the one hand that it's the millionaire corporations, the billionaire corporations that are siding with the Democratic elite against regular Georgia voters. But fundamentally, Mitch and the Republicans will do nothing to actually challenge corporate power. They won't. They will never join with Bernie Sanders to end corporate influence on political campaigns. They will never end Citizens United. Mitch McConnell is not going to vote to raise the corporate income tax rate. He's not going to raise taxes on millionaires and billionaires to give them less money so they have less ability to influence political discourse. He will never do any of that. All he wants is corporations to uncritically support him. Remember that.